Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts Jeremy Barker and Aaron Arms.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. Once again, it's Bark with my arms to my left.
Good morning. By the way, hey, before we get forward, I really appreciate your excitement right now.
My excitement about?
Did somebody, run over your dog?
No.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Back Row Fantasy Show. This is Barker.
Is that how I sounded?
Yeah, that's how you sounded.
That's awful. My bad. Hey, welcome.
No. And Hux to his right.
And Hux is to my right.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys. What's that? Sorry.
Who took my cheat? Anyways.
I thought it was a little throwback to your Niddles voice of mine.
Yeah, did kind of sound like that, I guess.
Hey, guys. Arms here.
Oh, there you go.
Got my opinions for you.
Did it sound?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't remember.
Kinda,
the
yeah.
It's
exact-
pretty spot on.
Nice.
Sounds just like me, except better.
I feel somehow that makes me. I feel bad about that.
As the arms deepens as well.
I don't
that
really
sounds
care.
just like me.
There's dude, I can't even get to the baritone you've got going on over there.
No, Hux is just.
Dude, both of you guys, I'm sitting over here with a semi-feminine voice. I'm like, hey guys, and you guys are like, yeah, wah.
Well, today we're going to talk about Chase Litton.
Okay,
Love Chase. I saw
great dude from a great family.
Great dude from a great family. Chad Henne. I don't wish injury on anyone, but he got hurt, so I'm like, it's Chase Litton time. Chase Litton's going to back up Patty Mahomes, and I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's Kyle Shermer or Chad Henne, or not Chad Henne, but yeah, Chase.
Let's be real. Kyle Shermer's in the NFL because of his name,
Yeah, right, but will he get a job because of that?
not to actually play. No.
I forgot to look and see if Chase Litton played any of the fourth quarter of the last game. I know Shermer did.
Matt Moore is currently listed as number 2 on the
That's
Chiefs.
right. They signed Matt Moore.
But still, Matt Moore's nobody.
He's a backup quarterback. A decent one, He's not awful.
Listen,
He shouldn't be in the league.
I like Chase. I'd like to see him get an opportunity at some point in his career.
100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So, Andrew Luck. We didn't get a chance to talk about him on the last show, but now we can.
Okay, I'm going to start this off with my cousin's fiance was in a league that somebody drafted Andrew Luck last week
Like
after the retirement.
like OJ. Like OJ drafted him.
It was great. Well, all right, guys, seriously, he's doing this for his mental health. Let's be a little bit relaxed about our opinions on it. Could he have been, done it a better way? Absolutely. He could have addressed it before the draft.
He could have also told the team he was mauling it. Maybe they've known for months.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You don't tell Andrew Luck, no, we need a decision. It's Andrew Luck.
Correct. So now let's look at the lineup for the Colts, as far as what their real starting quarterbacks are in, for over the past two and the next one. So you have Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and you're going to end up with what, Tua or Fromm?
What?
Because odds are they're going to be pretty high.
I don't think they'll be that high.
I don't either.
I do.
I got
don't
Jacoby Brissett faith, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do
not
too.
as a top guy, but as a middle of the pack starter, I think Jacoby Brissett can be.
They won't
that.
have a top 5 pick.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't either.
Really?
I honestly think they compete for that division still. 9 wins takes the division.
Look at Harvis's face. I don't think that.
From Houston.
Houston every year is, has these expectations. They never meet them.
Yeah,
Why is this year going to be different?
Oh, man, I'm sorry. You've got me floored a little bit. I feel like it's an overall better team, and with it,
Houston is definitely the better team.
With the second full year of having a healthy Deshaun Watson, I feel like that matters a lot.
Oh, it does, and they should win the division. I'm just saying, I think the Colts can compete still.
I think.
Well, with the Jags and the Titans, yeah, they probably can.
It's
It's weakish.
Yeah, I mean, They're all competitive, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Jags defense should still be pretty good.
Tennessee is kind of.
You really don't know.
No, somehow they finish 8-8 or 9-7 every year, and
That's
we
why
think they're terrible.
I really think 9 wins could win that division.
And don't forget the Texans. They're reeling on a 1-3 preseason like that matters.
Yeah. No, Texans definitely run. See, when Huck says compete for the division, I don't think that'll happen, but I wouldn't doubt if they finish second in the South.
Okay, finish second and go 7-9.
Right.
It's not a top five pick. So
I got you.
I'm with you.
I got you. So not complete pushovers, just pretty off balance.
Definitely weakened.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But let's talk about the fantasy implications real quick. Do you downgrade all skill players
also,
or no?
Houston went 11-5 last year. I had to look that up.
Yeah, they were good.
Maybe they don't win out in the playoffs, but that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're good. Like I said, it's their division to lose, obviously.
All right, first and foremost, every Colt tight end just fell off the map.
I wouldn't say fell off the map. I say heavily downgraded. I think Ebron's still worth a top 15 tight end selection.
Oh, absolutely, as a tight end, but Ebron was worth top 6-ish consideration, and now he's getting, at probably 10th or worse.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit scary. T.Y. Hilton has never been the same without Andrew Luck at any point in his career.
Though he is dedicating this season to Andrew Luck, so maybe there's a little extra fire.
Yeah, but he still has Jacoby Brissett delivering the ball, which is okay.
Pro Bowler.
I had to look just to make sure, but in 2017, when Brissett started 15 games, Jack Doyle caught 80 catches. I don't think you can downgrade tight ends.
Oh.
Okay, they still have 3 of them.
I still don't think you can downgrade them, though. I think Ebron could still, put up their numbers. I mean, I don't think he's going to get 13 touchdowns or whatever he had last year.
I didn't think he was going to repeat that anyway.
No, just saying. I don't think it's a total downgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's awful. I mean, it definitely hurts. They're probably not going to be in the red zone as much. Ebron's probably not going to catch the number of touchdowns, but I still think he's a good part of the offense. I still think we'll see him compete for the team lead in some receiving category, whether it's touchdowns or, overall catches. But I mean, it hurts without luck. Mo Alley Cox is not a thing.
Whoever you were thinking about is like the number 2 wide receiver, whether it's Campbell, Kane, whoever.
Funches.
Yeah, okay. Don't even draft him, in my opinion. You got to get away from him. And I hate this because it's counterintuitive, because I feel like the workload's going to increase for Marlon Mack. But I just think the increased workload is going to be because that's what they need to do. It's not going to be easy treading for him.
No, it shouldn't be. But we'll see. It's definitely not an Andrew Luck-led offense. It's maybe it throws some teams off. Maybe teams that haven't played for Jacoby Brissett for a few years. Maybe they finish better than we think. I don't know.
And I don't mind Brissett. He's just not Andrew Luck.
No, but man, I hope everybody that had Andrew Luck on their dynasty teams hopefully rostered Brissett as well. I mean, it's smart. It's Andrew Luck. He's been hurt. Yeah, you have to.
I mean, the guy came off of what? 2 seasons, it felt like? If it wasn't 2 seasons, it felt like 2 seasons of not playing.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 3 seasons, I'd say he did miss 2 full seasons.
So
missed half a year.
And they went 4-12 that year with Brissett, but I think they're
pretty respectable.
I think they're an improved team.
Oh, they're definitely
offensive lines improved, defenses improved. So
the defense is leaps and bounds better than it used to be. Now, moving over to the IDP side, guys, I'll go ahead and say I was wrong about Leighton Vander Esch at this point, because Darius Leonard just became hands down the number one linebacker. He was right there, in my opinion. Him and Vander Esch were 1A, 1B. And I caught some flack over that anyway, but my God, Darius Leonard is going to be a monster. And
tackling fuel.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. We always say the fifth round, start with your defense.
Oh, don't do it.
I will easily put Darius Leonard in the 4th. I would take consideration on Darius Leonard in the late 3rd. If I had picked 316 and a 16-teamer,
holy smokes,
why not? The guy's going to have probably a historic year at linebacker.
Just for the simple fact that very rarely in a league do you see someone go defense in 4. So you just got to be smart about it. Like, do you pick in the top 5 picks of round 5? Because that's probably what you need. So I guess maybe I could see 416. I'll see that.
I think he's a 4th rounder right now. Period. I mean,
416.
No. I would gladly take him at like a 405, 407, something in that range.
Yeah, I could see mid 4th and on.
I just think
I'd be all right with that.
Oh, for what he's good. I mean, the opportunity with the leads the other teams are going to have to try to run down the ball, even if the games are close. How do you win a game, right? You work the clock, and that's just Darius Leonard time.
Yep. Every tackle, we're going to be like, bye, Felicia. Mm-hmm. Because he's going to get a ton. Maybe 200.
Man, I don't know about that, but it wouldn't shock me if he approached 200 total tackles, which is ludicrous. I mean, that's insane to even use those numbers. But if we're talking, let's say 130 solos, get around
50,
60 assists, throw in the sacks that he adds. Oh, my God. Darius Leonard's going to have a boomer year.
Should. I'm a little worried about the same thing we worry about with Mahomes, just a little decline. I don't know if it'll happen.
But to me, it's different with him and Mahomes because Mahomes' situation really didn't change that much year over year, whereas all of a sudden, like, the offense is worse, in Indy. So, yeah, obviously bad offense usually leads to a lot of opportunity for linebackers on defense.
But that might wear him out half a season in, and then you see a tired Darius Leonard the second half of the season.
Kid's a stud. He's a different animal.
I agree. But all right, what else we got before we start talking about these best players? On
real
each
quick,
team?
Is Andrew Luck done?
Yeah, I think he's done.
I don't think he's done.
What? That's
I think
shocking. Huck saying the Colts will win the Super Bowl.
I think he takes a year off.
Come on now.
I think he takes a year off. He comes back,
I don't think he does.
and lets them know early. Lets them know, like, listen, don't trade up to go get a quarterback. I'm coming back.
They'd still have to trade up to get a quarterback. You can't bank on it. I mean, he might come back and just get hurt again.
Well, everybody could get hurt.
Well, yeah, but it's Andrew Luck. I'm saying, if it can happen to you, it happens to Andrew Luck.
I really think he's done. They just had a baby. I just think they're done.
It's just paternity leave, brother. He'll be back in a year.
I don't know.
Don't you sweat it. Captain Andrew Luck will be back.
Listen, if there's any guy I look at on a football field, man, he'd make a good dad. It's Andrew Luck. Oh, yeah. So maybe that's what he wants to do.
I'd go with Phillip Rivers.
Well, can you be a good dad to 74 children?
He's trying.
I mean, how can you show them all enough attention? I mean, that's
apparently financially would be my guess.
I guess so. Yay, 9 Bentleys.
Hey, since Captain Andrew Luck retired on Twitter,
oh, man.
Did you see Lieutenant Jacoby Brissett on there?
No, but that's great.
It's good. You have to give it a follow.
I will.
Yeah, I do like Jacoby Brissett's beard, though. It is hands down better than Andrew Luck's.
Oh, yeah. Andrew Luck's got the worst beard in sports. I mean, it's
well, he doesn't have much of a chin, so, like, even if it was, right at the bottom of his lip, it's pretty much a neck beard at that point.
It's just kind of gross.
It is.
I can't handle looking at Andrew Luck unless he's trimmed up. It's scary, man.
Anyhow, is there anything else in the world of sports with news we want to talk about?
I do want to say thanks to everyone who joined our listener leagues. We've got 3 listener leagues and then a main league, which we call the Brill, the Back Row Invitational League. That's where me, Arms, Hux, are you in that one?
No, I didn't get in any of them.
My bad.
What a piece of crap.
Yeah. I want to be part of the Back Row, guys. Oh, cool. Are you in any of the listener leagues? No.
Nope. Damn. I was gonna join the last one, but when I got off work,
was gonna.
A friend of mine got kicked out of it because he didn't see the draft start time.
Oh yeah, McCorkle.
Yeah,
man, I felt bad too. I really did. Like, I didn't know who he was.
I was giving him crap about having lunch today. He was like, "Man, it's 1:00. You should have eaten by now." I'm like, "Listen, I run a busy office, man." He was like, well, I'm like, I guess you don't want to be my friend. He goes, well, apparently you don't want to be my friend because you kicked me out of the listener league. I'm like, Barker runs that, just to be clear.
Yeah, my bad.
That wasn't me.
McCorkle, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I get messages like people blow me up and they're like, hey, dude hasn't made his first 2 picks. Timer expired on both. I was like, get him out. I had no idea who it was though.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you can't just let someone not pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes it painful.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but SleeperBot notifies me if somebody poops somewhere. Like I get notifications non-stop. Like I love the app. I love the free leagues. But seriously, like every 5 minutes I get a SleeperBot app, and sometimes it's just not about football. Like Kim Kardashian has 3rd child. I'm like, I don't give a damn, SleeperBot.
Does she really have 3 kids?
I don't care. I don't know.
I don't know if she has 2.
She's got 2.
Yeah,
No shit.
She's got like North and West,
North,
and I think
yeah.
East is coming. I don't
Is that
know.
a real thing?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I got. One
I'll
other
be
name
honest with
wrong.
you. The only thing I know about Kim Kardashian,
Yeah, I don't think it's West.
on Snapchat, if they're like,
I said Northwest.
if they're like Kim Kardashian, you know, sexy photo shoot, I'm like, click. Ooh yeah, click, click.
I don't really know anything about her other than what Ray J knows about her.
We'd all like to know what Ray J knows about her.
Pretty much all I know. Well, I mean, I've seen what he filmed
No, I
that
just
he knows
saying
about her.
we'd like to know what Ray J knows. Anyhow,
Oh, you probably know some good stuff.
moving on.
Anywho's. So yeah, thanks for joining the listener leagues. Appreciate it. Like I said, real quickly, that it's going to be a ladder system. So if somebody leaves the Brill, which is our podcast league of record, we will promote from the other 3 leagues. So whoever's impressive, whoever, you know, has a good draft and it turns into good progress and wins, we're just going to keep an eye on it. You could get promoted to the big leagues. Kind of a cheesy plug, isn't it? Like play the back row lister
You know, the
leagues.
downside to that though is if someone leaves the Brill, they probably have a trash team,
More than likely.
and we're gonna see how you can rebuild.
But I mean, there are a handful of people in the Brill that have never played Dynasty IDP, so you never know. Somebody might be like, "Man, I tried it. This isn't for me," and in which case, I'll be like, "Don't ever listen to us again. Don't you ever?
No, he won't.
Don't you ever listen to us? You don't like IDP? Don't you listen to us?"
You keep listening. We're fine with it.
Yeah, I'm just playing. But
Yeah, I didn't get in that league either. I must have missed the invite.
on the Brill,
Yeah.
now I'm sad.
That's one we keep talking about. You being in, and it's not a different league. The Back Row Invitational League is the Brill. Just to clarify.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just
Okay.
not
I
in
did
the league.
it.
Oh, I know you're not in it.
Oh.
Thank God. Nobody wants to see the Wilmington Warhawks.
You have a chance to win now.
You know, it's funny. Initially, I just picked literally random team. I'm like, yeah, I'll take team 4. Barker's like, are you really going to be in my division? I'm like, dude, I didn't even know it. Put me in another division. I don't want to be in your division. I'm in Barker's division in every damn league we play in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Nice.
Battling for the bottom, baby.
What are you talking about? You helped me get to the top.
I'm just. What are you talking
That's
about?
2 wins a season in the bag.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you was talking about George Kittle.
No.
Worst trade of all time, by the way.
What was it? I don't remember.
It was Keelan Cole and something for Kittle.
Wow.
Well, Cole had just had a few decent games with a real good preseason,
Arms need a wide receiver
and I
real bad.
desperately needed a wide receiver.
And
I think he had like 9 targets 3 weeks in a row. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
screw it, let's do it.
Well, he was a big deal for a minute. I mean, he was like an up and coming player, and then I don't know what happened.
And also, it was the beginning of George Kittle's ascension.
Yeah.
He hadn't become George mother effing Kittle at that point.
No. So, anyways, again, thanks for joining. Here we go. Let's dig in. Start us off, Farms.
All right, so what we're doing is the NFC team leaders at this point. Going to start with the East, and going to go with Dallas. Obviously, Dak's going to lead in all passing categories. I think Zeke comes back. I do think it's probably week 3, week 4. Zeke's going to lead the league in rushing yards per game because that's what he does. He's the best, probably true runner in the league. He's going to lead it and lead the team in receptions by running back. And you know what? Honestly, he's still going to get over 10 touchdowns. He's Zeke. That's what Zeke does. Receiving, Michael Gallup.
Really?
Michael Gallup leads him in yards. I do think Amari Cooper probably leads him in receptions, but the inconsistency is just frustrating for me. I like Gallup's trajectory. I think he's going to be a fine receiver. I know that, there were glimpses last year of what he could be, but I think he puts it together, and I just don't have much faith in Amari Cooper putting 2 solid seasons together in a row.
I got Cooper leading across the board.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on Zeke. I got him leading across the board.
Yeah.
Cooper, yeah, same thing, across the board for me.
LVE, obviously, and I mean, we're talking big numbers. I think Leighton Vander Esch probably approaches 150 total tackles. He'll toss in a couple sacks, some pass defenses. He's going to be, a top 2 or 3 play at linebacker. And then, right now, man, DeMarcus Lawrence is hurt. We don't know if he's for sure going to be back by week 1. It is appearing that way. DeMarcus Lawrence is a great pass rusher, underappreciated if anything. But if he misses 2 or 3 games, man, I don't think Taco Charlton is a bad play. I think Charlton could be fine. And I'll be honest with you, I'm in several leagues. Charlton's on the waiver wire. I could see him getting 8 sacks this year. He's not going to, set the world on fire. But if we're looking at Lawrence missing 5 games, something like that, 5-6 games. If he has to go on PUP, then Charlton's going to lead the league lead the team in sacks.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe Robert Quinn.
Yeah.
Also,
I actually thought
sure.
Jalen Smith. The name popped in my mind as possibly bumping his sack numbers a little bit this year. He's a special athlete. The speed that kid possesses, I could see him getting some more pass rush opportunities and maybe coming away with 5 or 6, but I don't think 5 or 6 leads the team in sacks.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with DeMarcus Lawrence on the sacks. Tackles, couldn't agree more. Vander Esch definitely going to lead the team in tackles by a wide margin. So,
oh, you think by a wide margin? Man,
yeah,
I think Jalen Smith.
This year I do.
But, okay, I think Jalen Smith ends up with 120-plus total, though.
I think Vander Esch could push for 150 total.
Yeah, I know, but
that's kind of a wide margin
it is,
for
but
me.
Man, I'm saying, and that's the number I had. Leighton Vander Esch over 150.
I think it is very likely.
I know it's a wide margin, but I'm just like, Jalen Smith's not going to be trash.
Oh no,
he is a top 10 linebacker.
No, but not by any means. I try to grab him everywhere I can and start up IDPs, but I'm not having any luck. He's going high.
He's going where he should go.
be, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it seems high because they have the Wolf Hunter, but man, the kid deserves it. Oh, by the way, I also love the comments from Jerry Jones. He's a leader. He's respected. Everyone talking about the extension for one of the key players in their franchise. A lot of people thinking it was Zeke.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knew if you were paying attention, it was Jalen Smith. But, still some of these reporters, some of the guys in the media were like, Ezekiel Elliott's extension is going to be reported, blah, 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 just not paying attention to their timeline, apparently.
Let's move on. The Giants. This one's tough. This is like the Dolphins or Bills from the last one.
Man, I think Eli starts 16 games.
I'm not worried. That's not the tough part for me. Saquon, obviously, across the board.
I think Saquon leads the team in receptions too.
He very well could, but that's what I was looking at. Like, who leads him in receptions if not him? Touchdowns, yards. It's a toss-up.
So I actually have Golden Tate having slightly better stats in the 12 games he's going to play than Sterling Shepard in the 16 that he's set to play.
I kind of like Shepard.
I honestly think both guys can approach 1,000. I don't think they're going to break it. Neither one of them is going to break 1,000, in my opinion. But I think they could approach 1,000. And Tate demands so much volume. I know he had a down year last year, but overall, looking at his career, the guy is a target monster. I could see him getting, still around 70, 75 receptions. So I'm going to take Tate in 12 games.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Shepard. I think the 16 total games. And Sterling Shepard's underrated every year. I mean, when his per game, like receptions and yards, are really good. He just happens to miss a handful of games every year. So if Sterling Shepard can stay healthy, I think just the volume over 16 games compared to Tate's 12, I'm going to take Shepard on that one.
Yeah, I have Shepard leading the yards, and I got Ingram leading touchdowns.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep,
I think
same.
Ingram leads in touchdowns as well.
I think he has a huge bounce back year.
I do as well. And, it wouldn't surprise me if Ingram led him in receptions. But I just have a little bit more faith in Golden Tate. I think he's got another year or two left in the tank.
Yeah. What about yards? Yards.
I think it's I honestly think the three of them finished very close to one another.
I kind of agree.
I mean,
I'll give it to Evan Ingram by just a little bit.
I don't think well, I've got Tate, but it's
Ingram's a
like
good deep
800, 775, and 750. I mean, it's just right there, the three of them. And then, of course, Saquon's probably going to beat them all in yards in receiving.
More than likely. He better. I mean, he's picked 1-1 in 90% of drafts. I've seen some
Deservingly.
CMC, though. I've seen a few CMCs in there.
Field Yates basically went on record saying you shouldn't mock someone if they went with Alvin Kamara. Like, you know what? You're
No.
right. There is a case for Alvin Kamara to be the number one overall pick. I disagree with it as much as I love Kamara. I think it's Saquon all the way. I think Kamara's the number 2, and I think CMC's the number 3.
Hux, before we get to defense, who else you got? Giants. Was there any disagreements or?
No, that's all. I had Shepard with yards and Saquon catches and Ingram touchdowns.
Lead us on the D.
It's pretty difficult, actually, because there's no standouts really on defense. But
You don't like Alec Ogletree?
no,
I mean,
not really.
historically, he's a very solid linebacker.
He's solid, yeah.
Yeah,
but
he is.
I got Antoine Bethea leading in tackles.
I don't hate that at all, but Thea is a great player for his age.
I almost went Jabril Peppers. I think he's gonna do pretty good there.
I like Jabril there, but I don't have him leading anything.
But yeah, I
I
have
thought
Bethea.
about Jabril as well.
I have Bethea leading tackles, and then I got Dexter Lawrence leading sacks.
Yeah,
See,
Lawrence is my sack guy as well.
I had Lawrence wrote in, scratched him out, went with Lorenzo Carter. Dude, I love Lorenzo Carter. He just looks like
He's an
outside linebacker, but the guy's built like a prototypical defensive end.
And I don't think it's going to be more than 7-8 sacks.
no, and I also think Lorenzo Carter's not out of the question. I mean, we just said the name Dexter Lawrence, so
Dexter Lawrence is a top flight guy though. Like there's the guy who very well. Where did he get drafted?
first round, I believe.
Was it the first round? I thought
think so.
Late first. Yeah,
I believe
Yeah,
so.
it was late first. He could have been a top 10 pick. I mean, he's got that level of talent, in my opinion. So like I said, I almost went Lawrence. I think him and Carter's going to be really close though. Right. And once again, I have Alec Ogletree as the team leader in tackles.
Now, we'll move to the Eagles. I'll let you guys start it off because Bauer had to get his Eagles picks in there.
Okay. Well, Wentz,
Super fan.
running Sanders.
I got Sanders as well.
I think Sanders has a surprisingly good year. I feel like everyone here kind of agrees, but I think Sanders could get 1,200 on the ground, add 400 or 500 in the air. I think he's going to have a really nice year for the Eagles. In Ertz, all receiving categories, he wins it all.
I'm a little different at receiver, not much. I got Ertz leading touchdowns and catches, but I got Alshon leading yards.
I definitely have Sanders leading the team in rushing from every standpoint, actually. But that being said, I don't believe he's a top 15 back yet. I know there's some Twitter posts out there like, tell me why he is or is not.
I think he's on the cusp.
I think he's on the cusp, too. I think he finishes just a little bit outside. Just a little bit
I
outside.
agree. I saw that. I saw a post, and I agreed with some people's posts about it's going to take a Jordan Howard injury probably to put him over that hump of getting top 15.
What I was going to say is 4 games. If Howard was out the first 4 games, I feel like Sanders is a shoe-in for top 15. But if Howard's there, I think he does leach enough away to maybe keep him out. But, man, I'm just assuming that Sanders wins this job outright by a mile.
Yeah, if you take out the quarterbacks in this rookie class, I think Miles Sanders could definitely make a run at Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh, I agree. I hope he gets a chance early.
I think Kyler Murray runs away with that, but
High five,
move
folks.
on with that.
High five,
It's okay to be
folks.
wrong, guys.
High five. I actually think David Montgomery ends up winning it.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
No Danny Dimes for you guys?
No Danny Dimes.
If he was named Week 1 starter, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But I'm
not
with
gonna
you that he's probably not going to play, maybe at all. But at best, I think he gets in about week 10. They're going to roll with Eli as hard as they can.
I think that my feeling on it is they're just going to be doing so much better than people expected. That's not a good division, especially when you take Zeke out of Dallas. Like, that's a terrible division. And if they're,
Philly's going to run away with that division.
are they?
I think so.
I mean, if Sanders balls out, yeah. But, I mean, their receivers leave a little bit to be desired.
I mean, I think Dallas, sadly, because I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, I think they will still be in it, kind of like you were talking about Colts and Houston. I don't think they run. I don't think the Eagles run away with it.
I think they run.
I feel like I think it's a 3-team race.
They have the potential to run away with it because if Carson Wentz comes back to rookie year mode and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Ertz, Goddard, Deshaun Jackson, Aguilar, Miles Sanders, like he actually has a pretty dang good set of skill position players around him. So,
But
And they
realistically,
got a solid defense too. I mean,
Right.
but
there's a chance, but see, it all depends on Wentz. If he's not the Wentz of old, it's not happening.
But let's temper expectations here a little bit as well. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside has not done anything in the actual NFL yet.
I think he is the best rookie receiver.
I agree.
This year.
He's right up there. I love J.J. Alshon, outside of a couple years in Chicago, has kind of underperformed for what he was expected to be. Ertz obviously a stud at tight end, but there's a lot of question marks. D-Jax is very inconsistent, and Miles Sanders is still a rookie. I think he's going to have a good year. I'll reiterate that. But man, that's to run away with the division with that team it's possible, but it's not a sure thing.
Well, you look at last year, and you look at this year. Last year, their best running back was what? Wendell Smallwood,
Josh Adams.
I mean, their best wide receiver was
Ajayi.
Alshon. I didn't even name Alshon Jeffrey when I named all those weapons. I didn't even name him. So, but last year they basically had Alshon Jeffrey. Ertz has always been there, but adding D Jackson, adding J Jaw, and adding Sanders, and Goddard in a second year. Like, dude, if Wentz can get it together, it's going to be a scary team.
I agree, and I hope he does.
I hope he does too. I still think he's going to be a great quarterback in the league. Just a little setback.
All right, are we going over defense, or are we going to go ahead and hit Bowers and come back to defense?
Go ahead and hit defense because where we are currently with internet, it's not done downloading. He must have sent me like a 12-page letter about the Eagles.
Dearest
leaders.
Jeremy.
Dearest Jeremy, this is Mr. Bauer of the Rewind.
So I'm going to go with Zach Brown, good old ZBB, Zach Brown Band, as leading the team in tackles. Probably around 100 total. I mean, it's not going to be that 120 mark that we all kind of hope for. And sacks, I think Derek Barnett has the best sack year, plus or minus 8. I don't think he's going to have a 15 sack year or anything crazy like that, but I can see him coming in from between 8 and 10 sacks.
Yeah, I have Derek Barnett leading sacks also with around the same total, 8 to 10. I have Malcolm Jenkins leading in tackles.
I actually have
Almost
Brandon
went with
Graham.
Malcolm Jenkins.
It's going to be close. I mean, they'll be within 10 of each other probably.
I got Brandon Graham on the sacks. Zach Brown Band is my candidate for leading tackles. Yeah, I mean, their defense is good as a whole, but that's another one you look at and you don't see big names. It's more like a good above average group. So it's hard to see exactly, It could be Zach Brown, could be Malcolm Jenkins, could be Nigel Bradham, for God's sakes.
Just like whenever they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, Fletcher Cox led them last year with 10.5, so it could be him again.
When they won the Super Bowl, right? They had a lot of really solid players all the way around on defense. But did they have a star? No. They just had a solid defense. They didn't have a weakness. They just also didn't have a ridiculous strength. Just the defense as a whole was their strength. So, You ever get that to load, or we're gonna have to come back to it?
We're gonna have to come back to. I'm gonna send it to Hux for him to open. So you probably got AT&T, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, so I'll go ahead and move on to Washington. Don't care who the week 1 starter is. Still think Dwayne Haskins leads in all categories. Still think he has a good year. It is what it is. Running, Darius Geis, I think he breaks 1,000. I think he breaks 10 touchdowns. We have to, I know his injury was bad. I get it. But we have to realize that Darius Geis was barely the number 2 to Saquon Barkley. There were some people that thought Darius Geis was the best true runner in last year's draft class. So, what's not to love about the guy? The question mark with Darius Geis is the training staff in Washington. Are they rushing him back too early? I don't think so. I saw a little bit of his play in the preseason. He looked to have good vision. He looked to make solid cuts and very difficult to bring down. So I think Geis is going to seize the job early, run away with it. Receiving, man, there's just nothing you love about the receiving core. I do think Kelvin Harmon leads the team in yards and touchdowns. I think Terry McLaurin leads it in receptions.
I tend to agree on Geis. I think Geis is the best running back on the team. People talk about Adrian Peterson this and Adrian Peterson that. He's
disposable.
He is, but per carry, he'll probably be fine. But that per carry needs to be 5 to 10. Geis needs to be the guy that's getting 20 carries a game. I don't see them, once they see both guys on the field, Geis is like a young Adrian Peterson.
Agreed.
So he can be that. So Geis definitely 100% leading them across the board except for receptions. I'll go ahead and believe in Chris Thompson again this year as far as running back receptions go. But Geis, yards, touchdowns, yes. Receiving, again.
I think Geis is 3 down back.
He might be, but I'll believe that when I see it.
Thompson's too good of a weapon to not be on the field. So.
Yeah, we'll believe that.
Work him in
the
slot.
Who'd you say, passing or did you?
Oh, passing, Haskins.
See, I'm starting to wonder now.
Yeah, I got Keenum.
I'm worried.
I'm not
worried about
100% faith in Dwayne Haskins.
Well, me too, as a pro quarterback, but I don't have 100% faith that they'll yank Keenum after 3 or 4 games. I think it could be 7, 8. But
they're going to be 0-4 after 4 games.
They should be.
Unless
Darius Geis is the second coming.
At that point, you've got to give Haskins a chance.
Colt McCoy.
Didn't he break a leg again?
He's healthy.
Is he?
Colt. Dwayne Haskins, bust. Maybe Jalen McClendon.
No. Still wrong.
Maybe Alex Smith comes back.
Redskins fans shouldn't hate that if that was a thing.
No, but receiving, I will go ahead and give receptions to Trey Quinn, of all people. I think Trey Quinn's going to get peppered. He's the slot guy. There's no one else on the team that impresses me by body of work. Name, sure, I'd like to see Terry McLaurin bust out. We all loved Kevin Harmon going into the draft.
Kelvin,
what'd I say, Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, Kelvin. But yeah, I got to go with Trey Quinn. I think he catches the most receptions, has the most yards, but Jordan Reed, touchdowns.
Man, I'm not giving a guy touchdowns that can't play half the season.
Well, I'm basing this off a 16-game season here, but I
We're
got
not projecting injury on this shit.
I absolutely project injury for Jordan Reed every time.
I have Jordan Reed leading all 3 categories.
Where's
I
that?
know it's pretty far-fetched,
Where's
but
that god dang button at?
I must be the wrong one.
Hux has got it.
Okay, I mean, I will gladly project Jordan Reed injuries. Gladly, it's going to happen. Water's wet. The sky is up. Right.
He's the healthiest he's ever been.
Every year he's the healthiest he's ever been. And
Well, yeah,
every year he gets hurt.
this year it's happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Healthy.
Okay.
Anyways, we digress. Hux, who you got offense-wise?
I was in agreement with the running back. Geis leads yards and
Where do
touchdowns.
you guys think he finishes? Like, realistically, give me a number. Yards, receiving yards. I don't know about receptions.
What, finishes league-wide?
Total.
Oh,
Number.
okay, just numbers. Rushing, I think he could go for like 1070, just barely over 1,000.
I'd go just under
touchdowns.
1,000. I got around 900.
Okay.
Touchdowns, I'm going to go with 8 because I don't see him being in the red zone that much.
Yeah,
And
I
then
like 8.
receptions, probably 30.
Okay, I figure between 30 and 40 receptions. I think he can get 10 touchdowns this year, 10 or more, 10 to 12. I love the way the kid runs. I mean, he's one of the most enjoyable for the way I like to watch football. We played one of the most enjoyable guys to watch run the ball. I just love how he does it. On defense, have you done your you did your receiving? Right?
Yeah, I did receiving.
Okay. Defense, Landon Collins leads in tackles.
Agreed.
And, did I miss something? Is Sweat injured? Like,
I don't think he's practiced much.
I mean, I still think that based on, even situational, if they play him like they did at Sam Hubbard, I still think he can lead this league or this team, in sacks. Nothing pretty, 6 to 8, but I think he leads team in sacks.
So are you thinking Ryan Kerrigan gets hurt? He's had 11 to 13 sacks 3 years in a row.
Yeah, give me Kerrigan.
Didn't think about Kerrigan. I'll be honest with you on
He
that
started
one.
every game of his career for
I'll be
years.
honest with you. I must be the wrong one.
Arms.
Man, I was just thinking defensive lineman. He's outside linebacker. I just didn't. I don't know. That's oversight on my part.
It happens.
Kerrigan's
for
like
sacks.
a model of consistency.
He's just. It's just like Chris Jones. Like consistently, in 10 to 12 range. It's just you never think about him because he's a outside linebacker.
Before we get to tackles, Bauer.
Damn, Barker, Hux, you shut me up.
Bauer, I did not intentionally skip your Eagles picks. I've got them right here finally.
I loaded it for you.
Yeah, it actually loaded for me for once.
I just got it.
Carson Wentz, he's got him leading in passing, 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, and 11 interceptions. That's being a fan of your team. Rushing, Miles Sanders, 713 yards. Rushing, TD Sanders with 4.
700. Okay, never mind.
713?
700. I thought he said 1,713. I'm like,
Oh, no.
what?
No, he'd be a super fan.
Okay.
713 rushing touchdowns. Miles Sanders with 4 receptions. Ertz with 61 yards. Alshon Jeffrey 841 receiving touchdowns. Zach Ertz with 9 tackles. Nigel Bradham, I said he could surprise and be the guy that leads them in tackles. 97 combined. You're probably right there. Sacks, Derek Barnett with 9 interceptions. Razul Douglas. We didn't even ask for interceptions, Bauer. Jeez, oh freaking Pete.
Damn show off.
I'm done. Okay, so anyways, tackles, Redskins.
Collins.
Landon Collins.
Oh, you guys already said
Yeah.
that. I was waiting to hear a name like John Bostic. Valley Fantastic.
No, nobody is thinking Mr. John Bostic.
No, I'm
It's
actually
totally
with you.
fantastic.
Landon Collins it is. Moving on from the Redskins and the East to the North and the Bears.
Trubisky, obviously all passing categories. I do think David Montgomery leads the team in rushing, but I don't think he breaks 1,000 yards this year. I'm questioning whether he's going to get to 900. That's not a knock on David Montgomery. It's more of a little bit of props to Mike Davis. Receiving, Taylor Gabriel.
What?
Yeah, Taylor Gabriel. I listen. I don't love.
Are you kidding?
I don't love any pass catcher on this team at all. But I mean, I'm not putting stock in Allen Robinson. Anthony Miller. Yeah, I like him, but I don't know, man. I feel like Gabriel has a chance to have a decent year. Once again, it's not going to be impressive. I don't think any of these guys break 900 yards.
Man, no Gabriel for me, but yeah, obviously quarterback Mitch Trubisky going to lead them all across the board. Rushing, yeah, I'm with you. I do believe David Montgomery. What'd you say? He does get to 1,000?
I don't think he gets to 1,000.
Don't? See, I do.
I don't think he gets to 900.
Oh man, see, I do. I think David Montgomery. I think they fell in love with him, and we're going to be. I don't know about surprised. We're going to see him be a bell cow from game 1.
He will be a bell cow eventually. I do believe that, but I don't think it's initially. I think there's too much share at the beginning.
I think week 1 he knocks it out of the park. David Montgomery, I think he'll finish with over 1,000, fairly easy. But I think he leads them across the board. Touchdowns, receptions by a running back. Yes, I said that because I think Tariq Cohen gets traded. I I guess if you don't want to project injury, we probably shouldn't project trade, but I'm going to stick with it. Receiving from a wide receiver standpoint, Anthony Miller, I think he has a little coming out party this year and leads the team. I don't think that's a ton. Maybe it's 70 receptions, but I also think he leads them in yards. And Trey Burton in touchdowns.
Yeah, see, I got Cohen leading in catches, and Allen Robinson yards and touchdowns. I think he has a full 16-game season.
I do think that Burton leads him in touchdowns, by the way. I agree with you.
I like
there.
a bounce back. I think he had a kind of a down year for his first year there. I do think he bounces back a little bit this year.
Who,
but-
Allen Robinson?
I just don't believe in him.
Trey Burton.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
the Trey Burton pick.
See, I'm not an Allen Robinson guy whatsoever, but yeah, I think Burton was getting acclimated to a new team. Year 2 will be better.
Burton could lead him in receptions, very realistically.
Oh, it's possible.
I mean,
definitely
outside of
wouldn't
Cohen.
dismiss it.
Defense, Roquan at tackles, obviously.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack at sacks.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious there.
It's pretty easy.
That's chalk.
Moving on we go, unless a Bears fan hurries up and emails us their picks saying it didn't happen. Detroit Lions. Stafford, obviously.
Stafford, but getting back to some resemblance of what he used to be. 4,000 yards, 30-ish touchdowns, 30, 35 touchdowns, something in that range. Running backs in general, I just think carry on will break 1,100 on the ground. He adds more than people realize in the passing game. Made theoretic irrelevant. Going to go ahead and project him at 50 receptions, adding 400 yards there. And I think he has over 10 total touchdowns.
No, I agree on carry on.
Yeah, I do
all
too.
across the board. Definitely. I think he has a great season. As long as he stays healthy.
Agreed.
If not, look out for Ty Johnson.
Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Around 90-ish receptions, about 1150, and between 8 and 10 touchdowns.
I'm with you all day on Kenny G.
Yeah, I got Galladay across the board.
Galladay's probably going to be one of those big-time values that everybody's getting in like the 5th round right now. I think he's going to produce like top 3 round wide receiver numbers.
Yeah. I agree. Moving on defense, Gerard Davis, leading the team in tackles. It's not going to be great. We're not looking at Roquan Smith numbers.
When's he getting on the field?
Is he currently injured?
He's currently
I
injured.
did not see that.
Yep. Yeah, right now, Jelani Tavai is going to fill in until Gerard Davis is back. He's going to miss at least a couple, but Gerard Davis isn't exactly a pillar of health.
This is true.
He plays most of the games. He plays 12, 13, but I agree with you. If healthy, yeah, Gerard all day. Gerard, L.A.
By the way, I can't believe anybody didn't go with Hawkinson on the receiving touchdowns.
I did not, man. I think Hawkinson's going to be a nice player for him, but he's not Kenny G, baby.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, not year one.
Not yet.
I mean, the kid's got nose for the end zone. I'm just saying.
He's a rookie tight end.
I think Trey Flowers ends up leading the team in sacks,
Oh, yeah.
but
Agree.
I don't think there's a double-digit sack guy on the team.
Yeah, I got Trey Flowers
I
also.
think Trey will pull 10.
I got him at 9.
I got him at 10. Quit it.
Okay, whatever, dude.
Quit it. I got him at 10.
Stop.
All right. So that was easy. And you got the same guys, right, Hux?
Yep.
So,
Eddie Jackson and interceptions, just to be clear.
Eddie Jackson.
I did write that one down. I'm like,
Eddie
I think this
Jackson's
is
a
obvious.
beast. Now, listen, we don't really mention interceptions because, honestly, it's like the most worthless fantasy category there is. It is the most unpredictable.
Yeah.
You cannot go into a draft and be like, oh, I'm going to take so-and-so because he'll lead the league in interceptions. No. Some kid from, Ohio Christian University, a rookie at cornerback, could lead the league in interceptions. It is very fluky.
It's insane how interceptions work. Like there's weeks that J.J. Watt led the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't project those. Just not a great idea. But who's going to lead, what do you think quarterback-wise? Deshaun Kaiser for the Packers? Does he lead the team and all across the board?
The kid from Cal from a few years back. What was his name?
Oh, I don't like him. I know that.
Aaron Rodgers.
Let's talk about him for 30 seconds. When did he turn into such an arrogant prick?
About the time everyone said he's the best quarterback walking the face of the earth, whenever Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck were still playing the game.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Because he
has one Super Bowl ring. By the way, I'll just go ahead and say it. Ben Roethlisberger. Like, why does he get no love? But yet Aaron Rodgers is the greatest to ever do it. No, he's not. Like, Aaron Rodgers is the most perpetually overdrafted player in fantasy history. It blows my mind. I see this dude go in a first round of damn near every draft outside of this year.
Yeah,
that I have ever been in since he won a Super Bowl.
Very true. And now Patty Mahomes, like, you can get him in round 2 in a lot of redrafts.
And every year, what I tell people, don't draft a quarterback, period, in the first round. Just don't do it. It's a terrible decision.
No, and more people are taking that to heart. I mean, I've not seen a quarterback in round 1 out of 5 drafts over the last week. Everybody waited till 2, 3. I saw him go in the 4th once.
Patty Mahomes?
Yeah, but it was not a touchdown pass heavy league.
It's like, Jesus criminy.
I think touchdown passes are worth like 3. So, yeah, probably don't want to take him in the first round. But Aaron Rodgers across the board. Rushing, I think this one might be slightly debatable.
I've got Aaron Jones.
I got Aaron Jones.
Cream rises to the top, boys.
I got Aaron Jones. See, I don't like Aaron Jones this season. I think he's overdrafted, but I do think he leads the team in all running back categories.
The alarming thing about Aaron Jones is his yards per carry is with the best in the league, but they don't give him enough opportunity to be the best one of the best running backs in the league. Can
he handle the load?
What makes you think he couldn't? He's never had to, but there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to.
Oh no, we've seen a lot of Jamal Williams, not just because Aaron Jones wasn't being used. Like, those guys get nicked up.
Everybody gets nicked up. It's the NFL.
Saquon don't get nicked up.
He was a rookie.
He don't get nicked up.
Okay. All right. You just
regenerates.
You just cursed Saquon Barkley.
He regenerates. He's like Wolverine.
You just gave Saquon Barkley the kiss of death. I just want you to know, if you draft Saquon Barkley 101 or 102 or 103 and he gets hurt, that is Jeremy Barker's fault for the kiss of death right there.
I deal the kiss of death players. I dealt Melvin Gordon before all that. I deal him. I don't take him in.
Anyhow, receiving. So you guys are going to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I'm going to go to Davante Adams.
Yeah, Davante, but the name you mentioned is still worth talking about.
I think he has a good year.
I love Valdez-Scantling. I think he has an excellent year. Not as good as Davante.
I think there's like 2 other receivers in the league that have a year like Davante. So
yeah, but MVS, I think he can. I honest to God think he can catch 1,000 yards worth of balls.
I agree.
Like, I think he could be that sneaky guy that finishes the season with like 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. Like,
can we just call? He's this year's Chris Godwin.
This year's Chris? You mean from last year? He's last year's Chris Godwin?
He's this year's Chris Godwin from last year.
Okay. There you go. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
I can be on board with that.
He's going to be around.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. Defense, B-Mark, Blake Martinez.
Before we get into defense, I'd like to name my offensive picks.
You haven't been talking. I just was
just trying to get my opportunities.
You can only take so many minutes away from Hucks. Use them wisely.
Let me get this in real quick. Davante Adams across the board at wide receiver. But back to Aaron Jones. They have a new head coach, LaFleur, offensive coordinator for the Titans last year, kind of run heavy. May see Jones run the ball a little bit more this year. So now we can go move on to defense.
Do you think, all jokes aside, do you think he can get to 1,000?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
See, I don't. I think he leads that team in rushing, but I still think it's 800 to 900 yards.
How many carries do you think he gets this year?
About 65% of them. The rest go to Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
I was looking for a number.
So if I say 200, that makes him 1,000-yard back.
Exactly.
So about 170.
I say he barely gets to the 1,000 mark, but he does.
I put him around like 220. I think he gets just a little over 200 carries. So I think he gives over a little over 1,000.
Okay. I mean, I just feel like they spread.
And now we're going to move on to defense. I got Blake Martinez at tackles.
Buddy. Hell yeah!
But
oh no, it's defense.
Oren
now.
Burks will be playable at linebacker this year.
Okay, that's defense.
And sacks, man, it's really a toss-up here for sacks.
Claymates was a great game on Super Nintendo. We talked about Clay Matthews earlier, so I started to pretend like he was still on the team.
Okay, I was like,
I have Preston Smith, but it could be a number of
Zadarius
guys.
Smith.
There you go.
I mean,
It could be Kenny Clark. I mean, I don't know.
I actually thought about Kenny Clark. I'm like, I think it's going to be Zadarius Smith. I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
he's
out on
beautiful,
a
though.
Going out on a limb, Rashawn Gary actually leads him in sacks.
That's a limb.
That's
That's a little bit of a limb right there.
Rashawn Gary,
How many sacks do you think he gets?
9.
wow.
I actually have Zadarius Smith at 10. It's not going to be a great season. It's going to be a solid season.
Yeah, I don't think anybody reaches double digits.
Some conviction. Sounds like you believe Zadarius gets 10.
I do.
Okay. I don't believe that much that Rashawn Gary leads him in sacks, but I think it's possible. I don't see anybody on that team that is a shoe-in, so I'm going to go with Gary.
Is he hurt?
Who?
Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, he didn't play much camp, but I think he's on track to play week 1.
I'm not seeing him listed anywhere on the depth chart anywhere.
He probably got cut because he sucks. Michigan
He's a
players-
linebacker,
Michigan players are
right
terrible.
outside linebacker.
Michigan players. Are
I found
terrible.
him.
There's that one guy, and they're
I wasn't
still,
doubting you. I just
all
really
Michigan
didn't
fans are
see
still
him.
hanging their damn hat on Charles Woodson and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I'm just playing Michigan fans, both of you that listen.
Moving on.
And the final team in the North is the Vikings.
It is. And after this, we got a message for you from our sponsor. But yeah, Minnesota Vikings quarterback. Who's it going to be?
Captain Kirk.
Is there any other option?
I'm just making sure. Just making sure. Yeah. Kirk Cousins all day long. Honestly, I'm not sure who their backup is. Who is their backup?
Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean,
It only matters if Kirk Cousins gets hurt.
Oh, I found it. Sean Mannion.
Well, I mean, obviously someone who could really push, Kirk Cousins out of a job.
Absolutely. They should have signed Nathan Peterman, for God's sakes.
I mean, he looks good in Oakland. I'm just saying.
That's right. So, yeah, Kirk all across the board. Rushing, does Dalvin stay healthy? Does he lead the team, or do we have love for Alexander Madison?
I just think Dalvin, even if he plays 10 games, is just too much for Madison to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, a healthy Dalvin will obviously lead the team, but they seem pretty high on Madison. I think he'll get touches.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Hopefully they give him, they let Cook rest some, so that'd be nice to see him actually stay on the field.
Yeah, because he's talented. I mean,
It's
some of the
totally
runs in
worth that
preseason-
first-round draft pick whenever you, let him sit half the season, give another guy half of his damn carries.
Yeah, it happens. Alexander Madison was a third-round pick. In 2019, the third round is equivalent to a first-round running back. Everybody, you guys are looking at me funny.
No.
Listen.
In 2014, yeah.
Well,
a
I'm just
third-rounder
saying,
basically was a first-rounder.
third-round running backs are just money lately, it seems.
Name 5.
Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Nick Chubb was the second.
Nick Chubb was the second. Okay. Well,
James Conner was like a 7th.
no.
Fourth. He's probably
fourth. I think he was a fourth. Okay, disregard. But anyways, teams know they can get their running backs in the second, third, fourth. They, first rounder doesn't mean like, oh, we paid first for him, we better play him. Nah.
C. Jones, Ronald. C.
Yeah.
Penny, Rashad.
Penny was a first round pick. That's insane.
Wasn't Rojo a first-round pick?
I think he was a second.
Yeah, I think
He's a second round pick.
early
I
second
thought
maybe.
it was late first.
Yeah. I knew I missed your point for a reason.
Whatever.
I was confused,
Above the third, isn't it?
basically.
All right, boom.
Bada boom. Wide receiving. This is debatable. I mean, got 2 studs.
Thielen balls out.
Think so?
Yeah.
I have Thielen across the board. Close, but
I have
across the
Thielen in
board.
every category.
Yeah.
I have Thielen in receptions and yards, digs, and touchdowns.
I think Thielen gaps him in receptions, Hux. I mean, I think it's like 20, 25. Now, yards, I think it's close.
Yeah. I thought you were cracking on me for my Leighton Vander Esch over Jalen Smith gap.
No.
I was like, did he
It's
just
kind of what it sounded like.
did he just give me back?
I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. God. By the way, do you guys think back to Dalvin? A lot of people are really high on Dalvin right now. You think he breaks 1,000? Very realistically. He hasn't yet in
He
his career.
stays healthy. All he has to do is stay healthy.
Are we projecting 16 games? Easily 1,000.
Easily.
Okay.
I mean, he's a good running back. He just can't stay on the field.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Do you?
I have trouble believing that he's played 16 games. That's
Well,
my,
yeah,
that's
I
my
mean,
biggest
Well,
problem.
yeah, me too. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think he probably averages like 100 yards a game, which would put him at 1,600 yards.
Yeah.
But he plays like 6 games a year or less. So,
But unlike some other situations, I don't think Alexander Madison, like if he gets a few starts, I don't think he just runs away with that job. Like Dalvin comes back, it's Dalvin's.
Yeah.
man, I don't know. The way I see it is if you've got a healthy running back who's performing, why keep putting the injured guy in?
Because he's healthy.
He's better.
He is better. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Alexander Madison is a nice, like, under the radar prospect, but I don't think he's better than Dalvin or as good as by any means.
I agree with you. I'm not trying to knock Dalvin, but I mean, the availability is the best ability. Come on. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
so
But-
is what it is.
I mean, yeah, I guess if Dalvin gets hurt like 2 times over the course of the season, like misses 3 games, then misses a few more.
I think it just depends on how they do also. I mean, if they're winning with Madison in there and Cook's out, then, it makes the case for Madison to stay in.
I think the second time that Madison has a run with him out, then Dalvin doesn't get back in.
Gotcha.
Sacks.
Everson Griffin.
Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter.
Okay.
Tackles.
I think it's going to be close between both of them, by the way, and I think both of them actually break double digits.
I'll give Griffin 7. Daniil Hunter 16.
I got Harrison Smith in tackles.
I got Eric Kendricks. Nothing sexy there, like 105.
That's the thing too. Their defense, there is nothing sexy there. So,
But it's good.
yeah, it's good.
It's a
Solid.
damn good defense. It's just a lot of people doing their damn job.
Like Joseph Limbaugh
Yes.
does his job. Not flashy. I got Kendricks as well. So there's that. And now a message from my bookie. It's a new season. Antonio Brown is on the Raiders. Le'Veon Bell's with the Jets. Odell Beckham is in Cleveland. The one thing that hasn't changed, where I'm putting my money down on all the games. My bookie is the place to bet on football every single weekend. My bookie has better bonuses and more prop bets than any other sports books, period. This year, they're hosting the first online handicapping super contest. First place is guaranteed to win at least $100,000, and it only costs $100 to enter. All you got to do is pick 5 NFL games against the spread every single week to climb the leaderboard and score your share of the huge cash prize. All right, moving on. Atlanta Falcons. That Matt Schaub. Decent. No, Matt Ryan leads them across the board. We all agree on that. Where it gets dicey is next. Does Devontae Freeman have a bounce back year? Does he stay healthy, lead the team in all categories?
He's got 1,400 or 1,500 yards in him total this year. 1,000-ish on the ground, 400 or 500 in the air. Give or take 8 touchdowns. I mean, I don't think he's going to set the world on fire, but I think he's going as like pick 13 ADP right now, which is a little high for my liking. But if you could get him, in the late second round, I don't think you're doing terrible.
Yeah, I like Freeman to have a bounce back off the injury. I think he leads it pretty easily.
See, I don't. I mean, I think he leads them, but I think it's like 700 yards. I think he gets – I just think he's breaking down. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Ito Smith, maybe even Brian Hill get some carries. I'm very low on Freeman this year. I'm in the minority, but not feeling Freeman. I think he leads them across the board, like I said, but it's nothing impressive.
Gotcha.
Wide receiver. Or receptions, or tight end, or Austin Hooper.
Well,
You ready
Austin
to give him
Hooper's
some love?
not in the conversation.
Come on, Arms, just give him some
I
love.
regret having to mention his name. I think Calvin Ridley leads them in receptions. I think that the yards are closer than people want to admit, but Julio edges him out. And I think we see something, we haven't seen in a while, and I think Julio Jones breaks 10 touchdowns. So he's only done it once.
I can see that happening.
I think he has a career year in touchdowns.
I think that Calvin Ridley takes a few of those categories away. for some reason this year. I'm going to say touchdowns, but Julio still catches more balls, more yards. But I think, one of our favorite players, Calvin Ridley, really puts up a good season.
I mean, Julio had 113 receptions last year. I think Calvin Ridley had 95. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was in that range. I could be wrong on that.
I think it was 75.
If it was, I apologize. But I know he had an awesome year. I just feel like he's going to earn more of a target share. I mean, you can't always throw Julio Jones the ball.
64.
Are you shitting me?
64. It was the touchdowns that caught everybody's eye. I had 10
Gotcha.
touchdowns.
I thought, man, I guess
821 yards, though. I mean, 64, he's going to improve
I
on
must
that.
be the wrong one.
Oh, God.
Can we get that button out of his reach?
Hux
For some reason, I
loves
thought
the
it was higher than that. I apologize. But, I mean, you can't always throw the ball to Julio Jones 170 times a year. I mean, it's happened in his career twice. If he regresses down to, let's say, 130, I think that gets into the range of where Calvin Ridley's going to get the same target share.
I like Ridley a lot this year. I still think Julio finishes around 100 catches, but I love Ridley to tack on 20 and catch about 84, 85 balls, over 1,000. I think he still scores 10 touchdowns.
Man, alarming stat with Julio Jones, though. He hasn't fell below 1,400 yards since 2014. That is insane. That is insane. I mean, he's not a touchdown monster, but usually they're between 6 and 8. He had one low season at 3, but Jesus Christ, he's an amazing wide receiver.
Hux, you got any
No, I have Julio across the board, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ridley take touchdowns again.
Same. Defense gets a little dicier here, not so much on tackles, although Deion Jones or Keanu Neal, either one of them can do it.
It's coin flip.
I'm going with Jones.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Sacks, that's where it ggets messy. There is no clear-cut guy that's going to lead them in sacks, in my opinion, but who's it going to be?
I don't know. I think Tack McKinley has, he's kind of progressed year over year. This is his third year in the league. I think he's going to end up, around 12 sacks. I think he's going to have a fine year. Playing at defensive end, that's what he's designated at. He's going to be a nice asset to kind of keep really as your defensive end 3 that you're probably going to eventually move in your defensive end 2 some point in their career, in the year.
I don't think Tack breaks out yet. I'm going to give it to Alan Bailey with a paltry 8 sacks.
I got Vic Beasley. I think 8 sacks probably leads the team though, which he's had 5 of the last 2 years. He's not going to approach his 15 from his rookie year, but I think he could.
I just feel like they're the same. Like him and Tack are the same guy. Tack's just the new version of him,
Moving on. It's not that exciting talking about Atlanta's defense unless it's one of 2 guys. Carolina Panthers. Cam Lover, Aaron Arms.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it Will Greer's season, or are you
be
a Cam Lover?
It could be. Although reports I've heard is that Cam's fine, like entirely fine.
Deep ball's back, apparently.
The most recent shoulder surgery he had, which was a clean out, basically said that the rotator cuff repair was pretty much perfect. Cam will lead him in every quarterback category. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, Cam's going to lead him. Of course, McCaffrey across the board. I think that's easy.
Man, I think McCaffrey's not going to have a lot of goal line work.
Well,
man, I think
they were
saying
saying that, but
I feel like
I don't believe it.
I think they're going to work in Elijah Holyfield on the goal line. I really do. I think that I don't know CMC's touchdowns last year, from a rushing standpoint are, but I think Elijah Holyfield, leaches 8 or so away from him at the goal line this year.
This is one of those situations where we could pull up news and notes around the league and see that Holyfield's been cut. It's possible. I mean, not everybody makes the team. Did he do enough to make the team? He's an undrafted free agent.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm just curious. Cuts are happening, so it wouldn't shock me, even though I disagree with it. I think he looked good in preseason.
I agree.
Nathan Peterman actually made the Raiders, just to let you know.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, Hux, who you
Our
got?
Our Savior.
They did lead. They kept Elijah Holyfield. They cut Artis Payne.
I knew they cut Artis Payne, but, I mean, cuts aren't
It's because Elijah Holyfield's their goal line back.
They still have the Scarlet Kid and another guy.
Jordan Scarlett and Reggie Bonifant.
Reggie. So I don't know. We'll
number
see.
2 spot's a pretty fluid spot in Carolina.
Yeah. Now, receptions and yards, I think it's Curtis Samuel. I think Arms gets his dream come true. DJ Moore leads him in touchdowns.
I've got DJ Moore in receptions.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel in yards and touchdowns.
Okay.
I got McCaffrey in receptions and then DJ Moore yards.
Probably a lot smarter pick.
DJ Moore yards and Samuel touchdowns.
Yeah, I got to change. I forgot. McCaffrey will catch the most balls out of that group, but still yards and touchdowns. Yards Samuel, touchdowns Moore.
Man, I'm just going to say this. I think McCaffrey has some regression built into him this year. I think the other players on his team are progressing, and it's going to hurt him a little bit. I mean, there's no need to continue feeding your, star running back because he's a star. There's no doubt about it. No need to continue giving him every touch that's necessary whenever you've got Curtis Samuel who's open or DJ Moore that's open. And, I mean, all three of the guys can do the same stuff with the ball in their hands. Like, all of them run very similar routes. I know that, Curtis Samuel can get deep. I know DJ Moore can get deep, but they can all run those underneath routes as well, run the screens, manufacture touches. Like, to me, CMC's the number 3 running back this year because of that built-in regression.
Jaquiz Rogers got released. I'm sorry, Arms.
I love Jaquiz Rogers.
I know you do. Tackles and sacks. Take it away.
Kuechly tackles.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big surprise.
Breaking news.
Sacks is a little harder, but I went with Mario Addison. I would love to see Brian Burns get some snaps, and if he gets the snaps, I could see Burns leading.
I'm going with Burns on
I'm
sacks.
going with Burns as well.
I wanted to, but
obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a dangerous pass rusher on the team outside of possibly Brian Burns. So that's, once again, mentioned earlier, someone kind of in the mold of what Sam Hubbard did last year. Maybe it's 6 to 8 sacks, but I still think it's good enough to lead the team.
Very possibly. Moving on to the Saints. Obviously, Drew Brees. Obviously, Kamara. I mean, does Kamara not lead him in one of those categories for I mean,
Kamara has 1,800 total yards from scrimmage or more this year.
Yeah, Latavius is a nice piece, but he's not going to get as many carries as Mark Ingram.
It wouldn't shock me if he led him in rushing touchdowns.
Latavius?
It wouldn't shock me. I don't expect it at all.
Shock the hell out of me.
It wouldn't
shock me, too.
shock me.
Putting my finger in freaking 220 right there, bud.
It would shock me.
Rushing touchdown. Kamara, I think he has overall touchdowns between rushing and receiving.
I think Kamara ends up with approaching 20 total touchdowns this year.
It's possible.
It's possible. Receiving.
Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, in everything, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns or more.
That was easy. Tackles.
Let's see. Tackles.
I have Demario Davis.
I have Demario Davis. Sorry, my notes are cluttered.
It's all good. Sacks.
Cameron Jordan.
Cameron Jordan.
But Davenport, I think, is going to be very playable this year. Cam Jordan is another, very underappreciated guy. He has 5 seasons over 10 sacks, and literally his rookie season was the only season in his career that's been below 7. Yeah. That is some great consistency right there.
Yep, I do like Marcus
very Ryan
Davenport.
Kerrigan like.
I like Davenport, like you said, but good old Kerrigan. There we go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Does Jameis keep the job the whole year? I say yes.
Oh yeah,
there's no one else. No one else. You're not going to put Blaine Gabbert in there.
Have you ever realized the statistics James puts up whenever he's playing, whenever he's starting? Like, he's one of the most prolific passers as far as yardage goes in the league.
Can I just say I got really excited just now?
What?
Do you know who the Saints' 4th string quarterback is?
Mm-mm.
Vincent Testaverde.
Yeah, Vinny. No, that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4th string quarterback. You said Saints.
Oh, sorry. No, yes, you're right. The Buccaneers. Vincent Testaverde.
Oh, Vinny Jr.
That's crazy.
I love it.
I love it too. I hope he makes it work, unlike the Shermer kid.
Hope he starts by the end of the year.
Vincent Vinny. They'll just start calling him Vinny.
I would.
Running back. That's tough, man. I mean, it's tough. I'm going to go a little crazy and say Dare Ogunbowale. I think that the fourth string running back currently, who's looked impressive. I don't believe in Peyton Barber. I don't believe in Ronald Jones.
Okay.
I don't believe in Andre Ellington. Not saying I believe in the Wale kid, but I don't think any starter. I think that kid's going to get a chance because he does show the best. Hot take. Frank Scanduro like
Hooks.
Aben Gawabale.
I just went with the obvious Peyton Barber. It's a shit show there. Sorry.
It is.
I mean, I'm going to go with
It's
Ronald
awful.
Jones, but every running back, it doesn't matter who starts, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, we'll just say that across the board. We won't get into detail. We won't be like, well, I think Peyton Barber will lead him in yards, but Ellington receptions, and then Bruce Anderson in
There's not
touchdowns.
a startable, not a fantasy startable running back on that roster.
Absolutely true. Wide receiving, yards, touchdowns, and catches. Is it Mike Evans across the board?
Mike Evans and yards, touchdowns, and catches. Only two seasons of his career was he below 1,200 yards.
Yeah, it's Mike for me.
He still broke 1,000 both those years.
I have Evans and catches and yards, but I got O.J. Howard with a breakout year and touchdowns.
I've got O.J. Howard between 10 and 12 touchdowns as well.
But that means you got Mike at what?
Everything else.
Oh, so you got Howard as the touchdown leader.
Yes.
Okay. So Evans for me still across the board. Tackles. Is it Devin White?
Devin White
That's who I got.
approaching a
Devin White.
top 10 season.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Sacks. Nassib, Sue, who?
Devin White.
Sacks?
Yeah.
You know what?
Elite athleticism. Yes, Devin White leads him in sacks, but it's nothing great. It's like
7,
six.
6. Yeah.
I'm going to hand one to your boy. Noah Spence actually leads the team in sacks with 5.
With 4.
with 7.
I got Carl
With
Nassib, but I mean,
It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
All of them will be disappointing in the sack category, except for Devin White because he's an inside linebacker who's going to get a ton of freaking tackles.
Right. Moving on. Arizona. Kyler Murray. Yeah. Arms really doesn't want to say Kyler Murray. He wants to be like,
I agree
Josh
with
Rosen.
I agree with your assessment on that player leading that team in passing.
My God, he did something to Arms. He did something to him. You know Kyler. How do you know Kyler, and what did he do to you?
Nothing. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
All righty. It's okay. Running back. Anybody but DJ.
Hold on a second. Let me throw this out here. Give me a number on Kyler's passing stats with the air raid offense, all this crap, 1 million wide receivers, David Johnson being able to catch a ball out of the backfield as good as any other running back in the league. Give me a number. Tell me how many passing yards is he going to have?
4,800.
Oh my God. Anyhow, Hucks.
realistically, without even,
Say 47.
I mean, I was gonna go. I'm gonna do a Price is Right. 4801.
Realistically, I'm going to go 35, but that was like one of the best moments ever. 4801,
Where do you think? Seriously.
37, 36.
And he actually came pretty close to what I was gonna say. I was gonna say about 3,400.
I think about 31.
20. I really haven't put any thought.
I don't
into
think
this.
he hits 20 touchdowns in the
24
I do.
touchdowns.
I do.
He might have 24 total.
2301 touchdowns.
But
6 rushing touchdowns. 30 total touchdowns.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
No, I'm with you. 23 for me, and give him 7 rushing touchdowns.
19 touchdowns in the air, like 5 on the ground.
It's not that far off what we were saying. It's Lamar Jackson.
Under 20. Under 20.
All right. Wide receivers or tight ends, which, tight ends, that's not going to happen. They have Max Williams and Charles Clay slated to start. 2 starting tight ends, air rated up. Wide receiver, is it Fitzgerald, or do we have Michael Crabtree or Christian Kirk or Keyshawn Johnson or Indy Isabella?
I think it's between Keyshawn Johnson and Michael Crabtree, personally.
I'm gonna go with the believers and say Christian Kirk actually leads the team, but it's not anything fantasy woohoo. It's just he leads them. I mean, I think they got a good core. Crabtree's going to catch his. So's Larry. Keyshawn Johnson probably is going to have a solid rookie season, like 30, 40 catches solid. The team leader could have 65 catches.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like one of either, to me, it's Keyshawn or Crabtree. One of them ends up with like 65 receptions for 780 yards. Nothing you're writing home about. You really probably don't even want him as your wide receiver 3.
But listen, you got to hand it to the Cardinals, not only for bringing in better, receiving talent, they brought in a lot for Kyler Murray to work with. I mean,
they're doing their best.
There's some good. They're doing their best. I tell you what. Now,
other than drafting Kyler Murray, but other than that, they're doing the best they can.
All right,
I actually have David Johnson leading them in catches. So
possible
with the number you guys are saying
he's
around
like
65, about 65.
Yeah. Tackles.
Buddha
everywhere.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Touchdowns on the Cardinals. I mean, I guess we should have touched on that. I do think Crabtree. Touchdowns.
I got Christian Kirk.
Okay. So you guys said who? Hicks for tackles?
Buddha.
No, Buddha Baker.
Buddha Baker.
Oh, Buddha. My bad. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Hassan Reddick. Breakout season. Hassan
Same one he's supposed to have last year.
Reddick. It's gonna happen. Sacks. Pretty easy.
Chandler Jones.
Not Terrell Suggs.
No, not Terrell Suggs. 5 out of 7 seasons, Chandler Jones had 11 or more sacks.
Chandler Jones as well.
I actually had wrote down he has 41 in his 3 years in Arizona.
He's pretty good. Mm-hmm. He is pretty good. Niners. This should be a fun one. Garoppolo, of course.
Yep.
Running game. Is it Tevin? Is it
Breida?
Breida
Supreme.
I think it's Tevin.
I got a mixture. I got Tevin Coleman touchdowns and Breida in yards.
I got Tevin across the board.
I've got Breida across the board.
It's going to be an interesting season to watch.
It's going to be
both talented.
It's going to be a complete shit show, and neither one of them are going to be fantasy relevant.
Catches.
Same way with Jerick McKinnon. It doesn't matter who you got there.
Yeah, McKinnon's done.
You don't want
which
him.
is crazy. He's done. I wouldn't grab him fantasy in any leagues.
Yeah, they put him on the IR again.
Yep.
I didn't even know he got hurt.
Yeah, he's on IR.
Yeah, he had a setback with his knee again.
He's been that irrelevant.
Yes.
Oh, he's been hurt, of course.
Receiving touchdowns, yards, touchdowns.
Kittle across the board.
I have Kittle across the board also, but I really love Deebo Samuel.
I do too.
And I hope he gets some playing time.
He will.
I don't know if he will right away, but he definitely should. He's the most talented guy on the team.
I think Deebo could come away with
Receiver-wise.
60-ish receptions, but
I hope so.
that's not going to approach what Kittle's going to do.
No.
Agreed. Kittle across the board, but I do think Deebo is their best receiver. I think
Now,
he shows it.
if he could get enough playing time to get around 60 catches, I think he could potentially
Challenge
come
on
close.
yards.
Well, I was going to say touchdowns, but it's going to be close if he could get that much playing time.
From our rankings episode, that's my wide receiver. That's my wide receiver.
All right.
Deebo, baby. Tackles.
Quan
Alexander.
When Quan's healthy, he's one of the best linebackers in the freaking league. The problem is he's never healthy.
Fred
Warner. Also very good.
Very, very solid.
Man, I just want to see another damn season of Quan Alexander being healthy.
Yeah.
Come on, Quan. You can do it, little guy.
We'll see. Sacks, is it D Ford, DeForest Buckner?
Buckner.
I have Buckner.
I have Buckner as well.
Yep.
Buckner's a beast.
I think this is possibly Buckner's best year at sacks because D Ford's on the team.
Did you just say his best year at sacks?
Yeah.
This is going to be his best year at sacks.
At rushing the passer. There we go. What do you want me to say? Best year, 4 sacks, best sack total. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. I just thought the term best year
it
at
sounded
sacks.
stupid, but you know what? Let's move on.
Hold
Okay.
on. Before we move on, what about Nick Bosa? What do you think of him this year?
8 sacks.
No, I think he'll be fine. I think he can approach 10, but the problem is I feel like every other factor that comes in there just makes DeForest Buckner
I mean, if he's
that
playing,
much less double teamable.
If you got him on the field, obviously one of them other guys is going to be off the field.
Yeah,
So,
D Ford.
yeah. So
I mean, that becomes, if we're going to situationally pass rush with Bosa, it's taking D Ford off, not DeForest Buckner.
I agree.
It's Seahawks time. The Dirty Pigeons. Quarterback, obvious. Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Russell. Running game. Is it Penny? Is it Carson? I'm actually buying that it's Carson. I think it's Carson across the board.
Yeah.
I've got Rashad Penny, but literally in my notes, but why not Chris Carson, right? Like, he finished in the top 10, I believe, in rushing last year, total rushing yards. He's not terrible, but I do think it's Penny.
Suppose you can't forget about Bo Scarborough, though.
You can. You can. I had hopes.
Backup fullback, Bo Scarborough.
I had some hopes for him. Hey, how many years did it take for Derrick Henry to develop? He still hasn't.
What? Oh, come on. Okay, anyways.
He had a couple good games.
Catches, receptions, same thing, yards and touchdowns.
Gary Jennings.
Well, you're nuts.
I'm not. I'm right.
That's absolutely ludicrous. It's
I don't.
not.
I don't think a receiver on that team breaks 800 yards though.
I got Tyler Lockett across the board.
I do too, but I know. Oh, but Bark hates Lockett. Yes, I do. I don't hate him as a person, but I do have him across the board. But it's less than what he produced last year, which is not worth a 5th-round pick.
Agreed.
He's got more help. He'll come back down to earth. Other guys will catch, Jennings might catch 35 balls. DK might catch 45. Lockett's not performing at that ADP. I'm gonna get on a rant. Okay, moving on.
Bobby Wagner.
Clearly.
Bobby Wagner. Who leads him at sacks? Is it LJ Collier? Is it a outside linebacker like KJ Wright or Shaquille?
Shaquem had 0 sacks last year, so we can't really go there.
He's slated to start.
I know, but listen, I love the story. Nobody on that team scares me.
No.
Passing or